Hey YouTube, we have a couple Rw9 replays today as he gets prepared for Salt Mine. They're against Trebla, a player who's been working up the ranks and always uploads his replays out of Denmark. Somebody that will be excited to see in the One's future. But Rw9, he is a guy who rested atop the mountain of 1v1, but recently has been dethroned. I think a lot of people had him as the best player in the world. I think it's hard to say that anyone other than Moxie is the best player right now after the last Salt Mine. I'd be interested to hear what you guys say about that, but really, this Salt Mine is going to shake it all out, and so I have to give credit to Moxie for dominating in stage 1. But Rw9 is not going to go down easy. Now, there's no question that Moxie is always going to stay in the ranked ladder, so regardless of whether or not he had won the previous round, he was still going to be grinding ranked, but we were hoping to see maybe Rw9 and Zen putting in a little bit of extra work in order to put up a bigger fight against him in the next stage. And Rw9 is at least joining in the ranks right now as he has a 2-1 lead over Trebla, doing a lot of dashing around the field as well, something that we're seeing a ton of players add to their game. And Rw9, he loves his standard kickoffs, and if the other player is going to be down to run into them, he will probably come out the victor more often than not as he gets a direct kickoff goal up 3-1. Decides to pre-flip into the corner because he saw Trebla going to steal that boost. Actually did not get boost himself, but did get possession and a demo. And now he's just handed the ball to Trebla for free. Certainly scratching his head after that one. Nothing comes of an attack. As we reset back to the kickoff. Direct kickoff this time. That is a really long distance single jump wave dash kickoff from Trebla. I'm not sure if that's something he uses a lot or if he just accidentally pre-jumped early. He did land very quickly. That was a clear benefit. Nice use of the flip to get a lot of extra power on that ball, something I wasn't expecting. But still, so far out from the net, not likely to score from it. A little bump onto Rw9 to dispossess him, and absolutely caught Rw9 completely off guard. We're not going to be able to see that from Rw9's perspective, but he thought he could get to that ball before Trebla, and I'm not sure why, because Trebla definitely had it under control from his angle. Standard kickoffs, I mean, Trebla just has to leave them. Has to stop doing standards, or needs to figure out how to stop losing them off to that left side from Rw9's perspective, the right side from Trebla's. But even then, it's clear that Rw9 is one step ahead on these standard kickoffs. So, time to mix it up if you're Trebla. Gonna get a diagonal, which is always nice for somebody who's been losing kickoffs because it is going to be something slightly different, although it's going to end up the same exact result. This time Trebla at least gets back to the goal line to make the save. Wanted to start the dribble. Rw9 did not react to that, so used the empty jump to push himself back down. Now trying his best to collect possession and cut infield instead of taking the ball to Rw9 in the corner. It's actually a decent shot. One that he should be able to stay on offense with, but Rw9 doing his best to pin him all the way back, has the boost steal, but possession ends up in Trebla's control. Now these two both in reverse. Who's going to have a cleaner cash? It's going to be Rw9, and he bumps Trebla up right after he tries to make his play, so his single jump helps push him even deeper into the net. Rw9, a kickoff into the orange half, a rarity. And Trebla, nice fake challenge, gets Rw9 to single jump pop the ball, and it's too much separation. Can Trebla get a shot here? He's a bit close to be able to attack the ball with speed, and he has no boost to work with, but he's going to continue to try and pin Rw9 back. This one was going to be a pretty clear save, though, because by that point, Rw9 had picked up 100. He tried to go past Trebla. Trebla, wow, shout out to him. A great save and a very confident play on defense there. Just attacking Rw9 immediately, dunking it over the top of him. And now he's within 2. He really loves this super early single jump into wave dash. And, honestly, it maybe worked better than his standard kickoff because he doesn't get scored on. It does seem like he needs to try and work on delaying that longer. It seems like it's so volatile. Nice reset shot. Drops that into the bottom corner. Rw9 was looking to try and run away with this game, but Trebla is bringing it back. Rwas, very greedy play as he tried to flip back. You could see him holding onto the power slide so that his car was pointed towards the attack, and maybe just felt too committed to it. Wanted to try and beat Trebla to the ball. A couple different times he's tried to do that. Has got him scored on, so now he's in a tie game with a minute 30 left to go. He's going to delay this pop. Goal line 50 pulled Trebla out. No longer covering that near post. Frustration camera shake from Trebla. Slight delay on this kickoff. I think that's the right idea. Gets a kickoff win. Really look to flick into that top left. No, he'll go up over the top of Rwas. An absolutely perfectly executed flick. As we know how good Rwas is on the goal line. But I feel like Rwas maybe has some scars about that top left. Wants to cover it after playing so many games against Moxie. Now pulling off the air dribble after seeing the free jump. Trebla gets a touch. Has slowed Rwas down. Can he not get faked out though? Rwas so threatening. And after he has Trebla in the air, gets to low 50 and gets to keep his car closer to the ground too. So even if there was a save, the next recovery was going to favor Rwas. Trebla going to get back to this one with a minute left to go. Kind of lost this ball here. Cannot slow it down. Has to just continue to boost to try and stay with it. Rwas rushing back out to the play. And fortunately able to connect on a bump in order to prevent Trebla from getting the quick shot. But the demo will lead to the goal. So it's 8-8 with 38 seconds left. I'd like to see a mix-up from Trebla on the kickoff. He delays it big time. And I would say that that is a solid mix-up. Not delaying this challenge, though, as he dives Rwas all the way deep in the corner. And now he's just going to try and protect the ball, but he lost the protection. He was barely even trying to touch it. He wanted to float behind it. But there was a little loss of control there as he was not covering his net. Rwas almost escaped for the winning goal. Trebla has been really confident outside of Rwas' net, turning to challenge every time he starts a possession. Long shot. This ball is bouncing, and it's in with a second left to go. Rwas taking the long shot as Trebla was looking to close the distance while he was on the side wall. 1 second, and Rwas just needs to hit ground, and it seems like they couldn't keep it up even if they wanted to. So the first game between these two, Rwas was able to win, pushing himself a bit higher on the leaderboard, but we have another one coming right up. Game number 2. How is Rwas looking going into the next salt mine? He'll, of course, be automatically into salt mine stage 2. I think Trebla is somebody who you should look out for in an attempt to qualify for the next salt mine. Certainly the kind of player who should be getting late into those qualifiers. Rwas, nice flick, crossbar down and in. Oh my goodness, wait, it's saved! Oh my goodness, it's saved! It seemed like the perfect precision placement, but no, it was just slightly off. Somehow there was a pixel not in the net, and Trebla was going to be able to delay the inevitable for a bit here, but gets himself demoed, and Rwas is going to go up 2-0 nonetheless. I'm almost more interested in what Trebla's doing on these kickoffs. Yeah, especially this super early single jump into the wave dash. It does seem to lead him to land much faster, but he's a lot slower because he's not gaining speed to get into that single jump dash right near the ball. He doesn't seem to be able to power it through, so he loses it into his half every time, and that extra speed he gets from being down on the ground quickly doesn't seem to be something that, you know, makes up for the deficit. Rwas is going to win another mirrored standard kickoff, and then he's going to hook shot a top left banger. Get a 3-1 lead. I'm going to watch again from Trebla's perspective. See if he continues doing this early jump. No, he's just going to meet Rwas on a standard. And unfortunately for him, those have just been going miserable. Rwas will back off now, though. Trebla will he be able to get to the midfield and get a possession in time? He will. Rwas dove. That ball is just headed straight in. Yeah, it's not going to need any additional touch, as it does not hit backboard. It doesn't even hit the ground. Crosses over at a crazy angle. Trebla, it's about as good as he can ask for. in terms of these kickoffs as he gets control in the back corner. He's going to go for an air dribble bump, but he knows he's playing against Rw9, right? Rw9 converts those for goals of his own. And that's not going to change here in this ranked game. Probably the only player that you expect to get a counterattack goal whenever you see an air dribble bump. Pretty much everyone else, you're expecting a demo or bump and a goal. Rw9, how is he going to carry this one back to net? He is very mechanical. That's not going to be an issue. The start of the dribble was nowhere near it, but he finds a way to bring it back and get the outplay too, because you'll see a lot of players will be able to carry the ball to net, but they'll do so very lackluster. By the time it gets there, it's saved, it's counterattacked, you're out of position, you just used a ton of boost to get there in the first place. Not the case for Rw9, who's able to get it across the goal line high and accent it with a kickoff goal. So this game not going as well for Trebla as he tries to get Rw9 out of position here, and he succeeds. Faked him on the flick. Rw9 still got some of the 50, but Trebla able to force it in. Kickoff win for Trebla. Does seem to be very controlled mechanically in the air. Nice wave dash shots into the right post. Working his way back. Within one. I mean, it's obvious that the kickoffs have been a really big problem for Trebla, because when he does win them, like he did right there, he's able to get great takes on net and convert on many of them. But he finds himself so often playing defense against the guy who's not going to make it easy for you. He's able to pop this ball to make sure Rw9 cannot get a touch. Now Rw9, goal line 50. Trebla pins it back, able to escape. Now cutting infield, Rw9 into the corner. Will it be another air dribble bump? Rw9 looked like he tried to stop it. Oh wait, Rw9 gets back and bumps him into the ball, and pool shot saves it into the post. My goodness. It seemed like a great mind game by Trebla. He popped after Rw9 was on the way back down from his initial pre-jump, but I guess he wasn't planning on as smooth a recovery. Rw9, can he recover to this one? He can! Oh my goodness, the defensive plays. Trebla has had a couple goals just stolen away from him, and now he's going to have to deal with a Rw9 on offense very soon. He's down 2. I say that, but Trebla's doing a good job of extending this possession. I don't think he has a ton of boost to work with, though, which is why I keep expecting it to end here soon. But credit to him. He's actually stolen Rw9's boost and has continued to stay on offense. Rw9, did he get a spawn there? Looks like he did not. Spawning right now. These guys have been in the corner for like a full minute as Trebla does his best to pin him back. Rw9 flicks to push the ball out to midfield. Oh, that missed boost grab. It's so big. It may not seem like a big deal, but Trebla has to get that boost in order to keep this possession going. He could have stayed in the orange half, attacked like crazy. I mean, so much comes down to it, especially with a minute left to go. Now, Rw9, with time, gets to pull the ball away, gets to control the game in a situation where Trebla had to control it. It all comes down to that boost miss, which is wild. Wild to think, just a couple pixels. But that's the kind of margin here in these games. And another boost miss here. This one not as consequential. He's still going to be back to the ball first. But I'm not sure he'll be able to follow this up. Oh, nice fake by Rw9. Defensive fake. Did not send the ball directly into Trebla. Instead, just jumped for a 50. Saw that Trebla was moving across the field heavily. I'm going to go back and watch that. Just want to talk about this missed replay, or sorry, this missed boost grab. And I'll jump ahead to it here on the replay to make sure you guys don't have to wait. Okay, I have found the moments here. So what I'm saying here is if Trebla grabs the 100 right there, instead of missing it, gets to turn around and start a dribble while Rw9 is attacking and, shadowing towards net. I mean, obviously it's even worse than what he ended up doing, having to try and flip and panic through the boost. But if he grabs this 100, look at where Rw9 is right now, or I should say, let me pause it, right as he would have grabbed it, turn, about to make his play. Rw9 is shadowing. He was shadowing. He's preparing. He noticed the miss. That's when he started to turn in. And then he was able to close the distance while Trebla panic flipped through the boost. And that was even him giving Trebla a little bit more, trust than maybe he should have. But that ended the game. With a minute left to go, Trebla had to get that boost. He could have kept Rwas pinned back. He might have gotten his goal eventually. And then he needed a kickoff win, which obviously hasn't been going great for him, but was still possible. Instead, he allows Rwas to get out. Rwas able to score and then tacks on one more, and he does not want to play the last 30 seconds. So it all came down to that big one, but a good performance from Trebla. Rwas looking solid, maybe trying to get the rust off in the week or so that he hasn't been playing ones, because he has been playing Saudi E-League. I think there's been a few tournaments over in Saudi Arabia that he's probably been participating in. But he has to get ready for ones as Salt Mine is coming back.